What's going on? I don't know. I hope I haven't done a live in quite some time. So I have wires unplugged and going this way and that way. So I'm not sure. My webcam wasn't getting recognized. I hope that the microphone is functioning properly. I need an audio check. Let me know if you could hear me because uh it looks, let me see. Oh well, that probably didn't help. I had the microphone turned around backwards. Uh, hello. Shit. Yeah, y'all. Let me know if you. Hello. Oh shit. All right. No. You can hear me. You can hear me. Oh my god. Hold on. Let me. Let me just make sure. Um. All right. I hope you can. It's not giving me any feedback really. So I'm gonna take your word for it. What's up, everybody? Oh, the camera's over here. What's up, everybody? Haven't done one of these in months and months and months. I don't even know when the last time is that I did a live. Um, the last live I did was 4 months ago. 4 months ago was the last live we did here on the channel. So glad to see people are still here. That's what's up. Let me see. I could yeah, what's up? What's everybody been up to? I know things have been kind of depressing, kind of negative in the hemp space. Um, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. What's up, everybody? What's up, B White, Gino, Dre? Yeah, the hemp world's kind of crazy. Basically, the elephant in the room is everything coming to an end. And this, I wasn't planning on going live right now. I haven't had any time this year. We are what, January, February, March, April. I haven't gone live in 4 months. We're in the fourth month of the year. This year has been hectic. It's been crazy. I haven't had. I'm sure y'all noticed I haven't been uploading that much. I've only uploaded a handful of videos this year. I haven't had time. Trying to balance between responsibilities, keeping bills paid, taking care of kids, getting enough sleep, trying to be at the gym, trying to maintain some form of health. There's just no time. So this is my first live stream, that I'm really doing this year, and unfortunately, this is the first time we're getting to kind of talk a little bit about the ban. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of positive things to talk about. There's not a lot of positive things to talk about. I mean, the positive thing for me I'm here breathing, everything's functioning. I'm doing this live, and for all of y'all who are watching, commenting, you're alive, so that's always positive. Woke up today. But as far as the hemp space goes, but like I said, I wasn't planning on doing live. I was like, I might have like a free little 30 minutes or something right now. A rare, a very rare occurrence in this day and age. So why not hop on? I do want to do a live, like more of maybe a coordinated live, and maybe get a farmer or two or a vendor on live with me. Um, so that they can talk about maybe what they have planned. But it's an interesting topic. Um, as it stands today, hemp will be banned. Well, hemp as we know it will be banned on November 12th, 19th, sometime in that week, the middle of November. I forgot this. It's either the 12th or the 9th. It might be the 12th. It might be the 14th. I don't know. But it's the middle of November. And so we still have 6 months, 7 months till then. So for all the indoor growers, they still got a time for a few more harvests. However, the problem with the outdoor farmers is that if you're just doing raw outdoor, no light depth, not greenhouse, but just raw outdoor, your harvest is controlled by the sun, and it is controlled by the amount of light during the day. And so outdoor farmers are planting now. Now is planting season, actually. And then their plants are ready for harvest in late October, early November. And so the issue for the outdoor farmers, and they're the ones who are really, they're the ones who are really fucked. I forgot I'm not recording a video, so I could curse on this. I could curse. Uh, the farmers, the outdoor farmers are fucked because the indoor people can keep going just as indoor cannabis has always been going. Okay. So I'm not, I'm the issue is going to be places like Square and Shopify and all that stuff, allowing their websites to continue and give them credit card processing and stuff. That's going to be an issue. However, the indoor guys, I'm sure we will see at least a couple, two or three at the bare minimum, people still putting out indoor type three. I have a feeling people like Thomas from High Alpine will probably continue on some small breeding projects. So I don't think hemp is just going to completely disappear. But as far as the large, every year we get these big harvests from all these outdoor farms with all these strains and everything. That's coming to an end. And we might get a final harvest if the farmers feel like it's worth it, if they feel like it's worth planting right now, and they feel like they can harvest everything before that deadline, um, and kind of get everything going. We don't know yet. We don't know how everything's going. We don't know if things are going to be enforced. Um, we don't know a lot of things. All right, so give me just a second. Hold on. Give me just a second. All right, my bad. I'm back. And you see, this is why I don't do lives. It's just too much. It's just too much going on. But hopefully, hopefully I'll get at least another solid 20 minutes of interruption free. What was I saying? So basically, my hope is that if the whole THCA thing has shown us anything, it is that cannabis is not a priority for the government, the federal government, the DEA, even the post office. You know, they are just super. Not to sound childish, but they're super chill about it. And so my hope is that credit card processing aside, because that is a big hurdle, but my hope is that some people will still be distributing hemp. Um, it might have to be a little bit more low key. It's going to be more of a gray market type of a thing. And also, my hope is that people try to loophole it the same way they tried to loophole the THCA issue. I hope that they try to loophole the serving issue, because that's what really gets the the reason why that there's a ban is because there is a point 0.4, I believe it's 0.4 or 0.04 milligram total THC limit per package on any sort of industrial hemp. And so basically what that means is that people can sell like an eighth of a gram at a time to meet that 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 limit. And so what I'm hoping for, and what I've seen people talking about, is loopholing that particular language in that spending bill, and trying to say like, say a company changes their packaging where it says one serving size is 1/7 of a gram or whatever, and there's 7 servings in this gram, or in this eighth, or whatever it's broken down into. I think that there might be ways to go around it. It's just a matter. It's just the issue is there enough money still going to be in it to make it worth it for people? Um, that's what it comes down to. The reason why people went above and beyond and are doing backflips and matrix moves to move their THCA and package it and word it like this and word it like that is because there's so much money in it. So it's really going to come down to, is there enough money to motivate vendors to, uh, kind of do these mental gymnastics and stuff to try to make it work, at least for some more time, until they ban that loophole. If that's what it came down to, just like THCA. And as we see, it could take some time. People have been selling THCA flower now for, we're in 2026. People have been doing that heavy since late 2022, at least 3 years. So it's taken them over 3 years to actually get that down. So I don't know. That's Let me read some of the comments. I've been really like neglecting the comments this whole time. Let's see. I'm gonna go all the way back over the top. Yeah, Texas. And the problem with Texas too, in Texas, y'all have people just selling weed in smoke shops. I mean, of course that's gonna. You're in Texas. I don't know who thought that was gonna last. I don't know why anybody is surprised. That was never, just like with THCA, that was never allowed. Just people weren't doing anything about it. So it's like the cat's out of the bag. You can't be shocked or upset now. The parents came back. It's time to go home. I'm drinking. I don't. I don't drink a lot. But it's a nice Saturday. I'm drinking this Brooklyn Brewery. Let me see. Brooklyn Brewery Bel Air Sour. It's a tropical sour. It's a really hoppy sour. I like sours not so hoppy, but anyways, it's refreshing. Hey, does Rogue Origin hemp flowers make you feel buzzed? Because man, I'm so sensitive to THC that I start freaking out. I've been trying to find a good company. Rogue Origin sells CBD flower just like all other. I mean, they sell the same strains. They're no weaker or stronger than anybody else's. So if you get some Bubba Kush from Rogue Origin, it's going to be just as strong as some Bubba Kush from Horn Creek or Lost Oak Farms or wherever. Danny said, "Good to see you." TJ, I'm not sure what you mean about downloading the video. The final 420. This will probably be the final 420 that companies can like do officially, legally, 100%. And I agree with you. Hopefully not. Will CBD flower and gummies also be banned? Yes. Uh-huh. Lost Oak is on here. I didn't notice that. Lost Oak says Zoe's releasing 12 new strains. We're gonna grow them and cross our fingers. Well, that's something to look forward to. It sounds like we're going to get a really nice cushy send off from Lost Oak Farms. And then Lost Oak, is he back? I don't know if he's back. He said, "Be right back. I gotta go order some Thai food." Some pad Thai would be good right now. I've been craving some pho, which is Vietnamese, but still. Tony said, "What's up, Louisville, Kentucky in the house? Shout out to Louisville." Tony said this law will not go through. You know, that's what people thought at the very beginning, but unfortunately, there has been several bills, changes, amendments, and delays that have tried to like come through in DC, and all of them have failed or gone nowhere. So there's still time, but it's not looking good. What's up, John T? Anthony said, so there's a nationwide thing going on. I thought it was just in Texas. No, last November, they introduced a new spending bill, and it passed. And in that spending bill, they snuck in language that reworded the farm bill and redefined what hemp is on a federal level. So Texas is just, they've been trying to, Texas is its own thing. But yes, it's a nationwide thing as well. Tony said it's too much money. They can't put that many people out of work. This is a thing. The government is considering everybody selling THCA as part of that's what they're trying to get rid of. And they don't care about those people that are, I mean, do any of us really? I mean, it's like, I'm not trying to throw shade, and shout out to anybody who's getting their bag, right? Because like if I was in a different situation, a different lifetime, whatever, I probably would too. There's a lot of money that has been made, and there is still a lot of money to be made. Like I said, we still got like 7 months. Somebody could get in the THCA game and make $1 million before November. There's a lot of money to be made. But all of that is it's not legal, and that's not what the farm bill was intended. So it's like, I'm glad people are making their money, but do I care if those jobs are lost or whatever? No, because they shouldn't. They what I care about is all the farms. Like, if y'all watch my Oregon Hemp Heaven series and you see me go to all these farms in Oregon, and they have all these employees, they have all this property, they have tractors, they have like millions of dollars invested over the years. That's the shit that's going to get fucked up. Those are the people that are going to be losing their jobs. All of those workers, all of that property is now going to be like, what are they going to do with all that? They have all these machines and just everything. That's who's really going to be the people that are like sitting up in like some rented office space shipping out THCA pounds that they bought, you know, they didn't grow it, they didn't do anything. It's like three people in an office space just shipping out THCA. Oh well, I'm it's the people that have, a humongous property and these fields that they've been working on and followed, and the machinery they've invested in, and they got 20, 30 employees, and like that's who it sucks for, and and it's unfortunate, and THCA is a cause. If nobody ever started selling THCA flower, we wouldn't be having this conversation right now. We would be on here on this live right now talking about, oh, it's April. I wonder what this farm and this farm and this farm is about to plant for next year, and this and that, and what farm should we try to go to for Oregon Hemp Heaven season 4, and it would just be business as usual. But it's not. All right, let's see. It's TJ said, I don't anytime you hear lawmakers talk about the kids when it comes to cannabis, that's 110% bullshit. Okay. They don't care about the kids. The kids is not the issue. They're using that to pull at the heartstrings of like the moderate people that aren't swayed one way or the other. That's just like a what do they call it? Like a dog whistle, or no, not a dog whistle. What do they call it's I forgot what a buzzword or whatever bullshit terms they use. Um, when people bring up, oh, for the kid, we have to protect the kids and stuff. Yeah, they're just trying to win over those people that are kind of like indifferent about the issue. Yeah, they're banning hemp nationwide. I'm not part of any discords. I believe that there is another independently operated and ran like low key Discord out there. I don't have time. I don't even I shout out to them, but I'm not a part of it. There's just not enough time. So I'm not active or involved with any sort of Discord. And unfortunately, Discord was dope, and everything, but it's just I don't have time for that, at all. Do you have a brother named Robert? No, I don't have a brother named Robert. Oh fuck. Give me a second, y'all. In case y'all don't know, one of my youngest son, I have 4 kids in total. My youngest son has type 1 diabetes. And so um that's a whole other dimension of dealing with stuff. And so whenever he's away, um you know, it's like every time he eats something or anything like that, people got to call and oh, how much insulin does he get for this or this or that, or can he have this or so. um uh Polysab, what's up? What's good? I gotta order my press t-shirt, by the way. Speaking of that, I got so many t-shirts though. I gotta purge my closet. Uh yeah, the THCA market, it did get out of control. I mean, it didn't get out of control. It was not supposed to exist. THCA is just regular weed, and that's not what the farm bill was intending. So, but that's why I said when I did that last THCA video, in the beginning of the video, I made it very clear like THCA fucked it up for everybody. And because of THCA, there's this ban. But like we can't stop it. So, like I said, there's money to be made. If y'all got if y'all if anybody's watching this right now and you got a couple $1,000s to invest and you want to get into THCA right now, if you do it the right way, you can make easily 6 figures. If you invest more, you can make $1 million by November. So, like I said, the cat's out of the bag. The ship is sinking. Everybody's going down. So it's like, fuck it, just party. Do all the lines you can. Grab the big girl in the corner that you normally wouldn't give no attention to. Destroy that. Drink up. Is mayhem. That's the type of timing I'm on right now. It's mayhem. The ship sinking. We gotta just everybody is a free for all. You know what I mean? I could sit here on a soapbox for the rest of this year and whine and cry about THCA. That's not going to help anything. It's not going to help my channel. It's not going to bring me viewers or subscribers. It's not going to stop anybody from using THCA. I already tried that. When THCA first became a thing, I got on the soapbox and I stood on the sideline and yelled to everybody, this shit is a problem. I got extreme major negative feedback from that. They try to call me anti-cannabis or whatever. I'm not anti-cannabis. I think that all cannabis should be legal. But the farm bill was not legalization of cannabis. The farm bill was legalization of industrial hemp. And we happen to get some high CBD flower out of it. And I knew once people started selling THC, the Delta 8 and all that shit was already bad enough, but that wasn't as widespread. And I knew that individual states would start banning that. I wasn't super worried about that. But once the THCA thing came and everybody just started selling weed on the internet, I knew that was the beginning of the end. But so anyway, so I'm not gonna waste my time trying to preach to people about THCA. What happened. Like I said, there's money to be made. You know what I mean? If and I'll be honest, people always accuse me of being a shill. Oh, Shabazz is a shill, this and that. Like, go on my channel, I'm constantly saying that this flower from this company is good, and then their competitor is also good. I would be the worst shill of all time, right? But like when it comes to THCA stuff, I don't even smoke THCA. But if these companies are like, hey, we'll give you an affiliate code and just try our stuff out, see if it's just say if it's good quality or not. And if it's good quality, if it's trash, it's then fuck it. If it's trash, I might not even make a video on. Why waste my time? But if it's some good THCA, some of y'all buy THCA and they're like, we'll give you an affiliate code for it. If you like it, your viewers buy it, we might break you off a little something. Why not? Like I said, what somebody said, last call. THCA fucked everything over. Might as well benefit from it somehow. All right. And I know somebody watching this is going to take that totally the wrong way. Somebody watching this is going to hate me for that. Somebody watching this is going to call me a shill. I said what I said, and whatever. I'm not for sale. I will never say anything is good that is not. Nobody can ever pay me. If I do a sponsor ad, right? Like, these things right here. This was my last sponsorship. This little canister. You could put a lighter and your pre-rolls in here and put it in your pocket. I make a sponsored ad with like a whole 30 seconds little scripted video and say, oh, thank you for the sponsor, blah, 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 blah. They paid me $50 to put this shit in my video. And I'm not telling you this is so great because I went out on my own and bought it. I'm very upfront about that. But when I do flower reviews and shit, it's not sponsored or anything like that. I'm giving you my honest opinion. And I will never deviate from that. And I would never be untruthful about that. So anyway, yeah, there's lots of suddenly like studies and smoking cannabis can cause heart disease, and this kid ate some gummies and died. Like, as y'all see, we live in the age of bullshit. Okay, the simple fact that and we are not. I don't want to see no comments. Not because I agree or disagree with you, because I don't even know what you're going to comment before you comment. I just don't want to see it. This isn't that type of party right now. But as you see, we have politicians, world leaders, senators, etc., who there's evidence of like horrible things that they've done, and it's just wide out there in the open, and people just don't give a fuck. And it's like, at this point in time, anybody can tell anybody anything, and if they're stupid enough, they will believe it. So I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to do. All right. I don't know what to do. Hey, Liberty Tech. Good to hear from you. Yeah, it's been a long time. He said, I got some unicorn preserves from necessity. I did see on his, I haven't been on Instagram that much, y'all. So, I've been missing out on a lot, but I did see Necessity has some new flower out that does sound really sexy, and that unicorn preserve sounds really nice. Yeah, Mr. Nuts said, no homo, said, try being in the UK. We've still got full-blown reefer madness. If you have any THC in your system, even from secondhand exposure, that's your driving license gone for 18 months. Yeah. That's ass. But at least there is some progress. Okay. At least you can at least now get some cannabis legally in the UK. They do have a medical program and it might be irradiated or whatever. But the cannabis culture in the UK is very alive and thriving and growing. And so y'all will get some changes, I'm sure. The UK is a much more sensible place for the most part than the United States. I know when it comes to like guns and drugs and things is bullshit. But as far as like socially and fiscally and everything, the UK is much more advanced than the US. So y'all will get there. Enjoy your health care and lack of violence and lack of poverty and lack of a lot of things that we suffer from, you know. Uh would you maybe consider what said would you maybe consider moving to Oregon? That Oregon's beautiful. I love Oregon. I would love to spend more time in Oregon, but I don't see how that would benefit me, and especially in relation to the hemp ban or anything. What's up, Jesse Briones? Is it at the moment the media in the UK is telling everybody that weed will cause scromiting? I have seen that here in the US as well. Like I said, there's just it's wild. The alcohol industry here in the United States is putting buku bucks into anti-cannabis propaganda. That's where all that is coming from here. And Cosmic said all weed is majority of THCA for listen, for the 1000th time that I will say this. THCA is just regular weed. Regular weed is THCA. There's no difference, etc., etc. All right. I had Wingstop for dinner yesterday. That was really good. I don't have treats like that so often. I have to really cut down on the sodium intake. But every once in a while, sexy little 10-piece combo. You know what I mean? The Observer. Now, here's something good. The Observer said if you haven't yet, increase your seed collection. Now, that's one thing that I've been a proponent of for as long as I've been an adult, right? Everybody in America in illegal states and stuff complains about weed needing to be legal and they shouldn't have to be going to buy weed from drug dealers and shady places and this and that. People need to grow their own. And I know not everybody can grow. Like me, I'm not really in a position where I could grow. I'd be throwing some seeds. I germinate some seed. Like last year, I did some like little experimental grows on my balcony and stuff. But to actually grow to keep a supply, I'm not in a position to do that. And if you're living in an apartment or something like that, I get it. But if you have your own house, if you have a basement, if you have any sort of semi-private outdoor area with good sunlight, you should be growing your own. Okay. So and it's way easier than you think. I know there's somebody watching this right now, like, oh yeah, you say grow your own, but it's like it is way easier than you think. And once you start doing it, it is so rewarding. And yeah, I can't say that enough, y'all. If you are worried about not having access to type 3 to CBD flower after the ban, start growing your own. Honestly, get some seeds from Zoe Therapeutics, get some seeds from Hag, get some seeds from they have type 2 and type 3 genetics from a lot of big seed banks, a lot more than I don't want to say a lot, but there is at least like a dozen big online cannabis seed banks here in America and in the UK that do have type 2 and type 3 genetics. And those genetics are actually like way less common than our American genetics that we have. Like, all the Hag and Hoku and Oregon CBD and Zoe stuff. They have stuff from European breeders as well. So I highly recommend everybody cop seeds. Even if you can't grow now, cop the seeds now so you have them when you can grow. Seeds can stay good as long as you're alive for the most part if you store them correctly. Somebody said, will CBD hemp seeds still be a business move? What if no? You got to think about for marijuana seed banks, there's people all over the world every day buying packs of really overpriced seeds to grow at home. There's constantly every day somebody going and ordering like $100 for 10 seeds, which people would call that a deal, but like literally 5 to 10 seeds. And so these online seed banks selling marijuana genetics, it's worth it's a money play. Nobody's buying CBD seeds. Nobody was buying CBD seed. I mean, I don't want to say, when I say nobody, I don't literally mean nobody, but it's like a drop in the bucket. Let's just throw out a number. Today in America, 10,000 people went online and ordered some marijuana seeds off various seed banks. Maybe 14 people went online and bought CBD seeds. So, no, I mean, the amount of people who smoke CBD flower is really low. The amount of people that are willing to grow their own CBD flower, or the amount of like cannabis growers that are willing to grow CBD flower is even smaller. So, you know, and that's just it's an unfortunate truth. That's not me trying to be negative or anything like that. It's just some people, it's like in the cannabis world, is what do you call it? Like a dichotomy or whatever, where you either have people that are ultra positive to the point of being delusional, or you have people that are ultra negative to the point of being assholes and douchebags. And it's like there's very little people in the middle ground, right? And that's why you have so much division. That's why the Discord servers and shit just couldn't last. There's just way too much division. There's just, again, I don't waste my time anymore worrying about things that I can't change. It's unfortunate, but we can't change it. So let's see. Let's smoke something, y'all. What's crazy is I got some flour from this. I can't say because I don't know if I'm going to. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet. My plan is to make a video on it, but the growers, I try to get a hold of them for more information, and it's just like I told them their shit was fire, and they left me on red after. Like they're, oh man, thanks. I'm so glad to hear that. Can't wait till you try our next harvest. And I start asking more questions. I got left on red, but I got sent some really fire CBD flower from a new company I've never tried. If y'all are on my Patreon, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm so anxious to try that, but I gotta wait and see. Let's smoke some of this. Here's one. Here, I'll do a special one for y'all here on the live. Something exclusive. Something super exclusive. Something super exclusive. You're gonna witness something very rare. Very rare. All right. Let me clean out my rolling tray. Damn, I'm kind of hungry too. Let me clean out my rolling tray. If y'all are on Instagram, when I do be active and I do be posting like stories of me rolling up and stuff, check out my rolling tray. All right, you got Bubbles in the shed and breakfast with the kitties. All right, I'm gonna smoke some Lifter live with y'all. All right, now, am I gonna smoke just some regular bullshit Lifter that smells like cheese and mildew? Hell no. But I'm gonna smoke this Big Apple Jacks Pheno of Lifter from Gulf Coast, which if y'all didn't watch my video today, go watch it. I did a review on the Gulf Coast. This is Living Soil Indoor Flower from Florida. Now, this camera is able to, it has changeable focus. It's just hard to get it to do so. That's why I got this specific webcam, so that I could do this. But in order to make that happen, I like block out. Okay, there we go. All right, there we go. It changes the light balance. But that's the Big Apple Jacks from Gulf Coast, and that is actually a phenotype of Lifter. Really nice. All right. So, you know, regularly Lifter just gives me a bad headache, and I just think it's the terpenes. I think it's the whatever it is that gives it that, like, that moldy, cheesy smell. When I smoke it, it does not, it just doesn't agree with me. All right. But this doesn't have that smell. So I'm able to smoke this and I don't get a headache. All right. So let's roll up a little J. Let's see, that should be enough. Where's my grinder? All right. Lately I've been using the Santa Cruz shredder. I still got my other, this is my other grinder. This is the Grader V2 or whatever. This is the grinder I would always use, and it's still perfectly fine. I had lost it. It rolled under my desk for like 2 weeks. I couldn't find it, and so I started using the Santa Cruz shredder, and I just haven't stopped using the Santa Cruz shredder. These are both really good grinders, and these are both I talked about this in my review of one of them. I never had expensive grinders ever before in my life. I always had like the $10 or $15 just no name generic aluminum grinders from the smoke shop. I never, maybe it had a fucking Bob Marley on it, or a Rick and Morty scene or some shit. I'm not even I've watched Rick and Morty. I'm not a huge fan of it though. But anyways, my point being, these are the first, these are both like $80 grinders. So these are and you could tell the difference. Absolutely. You can absolutely tell the difference. What's up, Brian? Long time no see. I was actually just talking about, I'm rolling up rare occasion. I'm rolling up some Lifter. This is the Big Apple Jacks Pheno. Okay. So a rare exclusive for those of y'all on the live. And of course, things are going to start going missing when I need them the most. Oh, there you go, right here. Here we go. So this is one of my most prized possessions, right here. This is something that, like, if I lost it, I would be hurt. This is my raw brand, like raw rolling papers. This is my raw packing stick. And it's like a stained, like, oak, or I don't know, but it's some sort of like little tiny hardwood. It's essentially a chopstick, kind of. It just doesn't taper down like a chopstick, but this is my raw, and it's branded. It's got the raw logo like embossed or engraved or whatever into the stick. You can't, I'm not even gonna waste my time trying to show y'all, but this is very important because I smoke mostly cones. I mostly just pack cones, and so this is an essential part of that process. Let's look at some comments while I get this ready. The Observer said, "Lifter is your most." Wait, hold on. Lifter. Wait. Oh, where'd that go? Oh, Lifter is your most hated. So, what is your most beloved strain so far? Hmm. You know what? Lifter's not even my most hated strain. I don't like it, but the reason why it seems like it's my most hated is because Lifter is still really popular, and a lot of the other trash strains aren't. And I don't understand why. I don't understand why Lifter is so popular. The only thing is that Lifter is pretty potent. And so that's the only, that's the only reason why I could really understand why it still sells well and everything. But that's why you hear me talk about Lifter so much. There's other strains like Special Sauce and Auto and Box. And a lot of those early strains and shit like uh some what was it? The part of the Alpenglow family, those terpenoline high strains from Hag. I really dislike those as well. Um, Lifter is just it's and the reason why Lifter comes up to it at this point is just kind of like a running joke too. All right, but I don't know what my favorite strain ever is. The issue is that every single good strain that I love for the most part was really good at one point and is maybe not so good anymore. So let's just say the very first time I tried OZ Kush, the very first time I tried OZ Kush, the very first batch I tried was the very first generation. Okay. It was that first generation of OZ Kush before Floyd just he butchered that strain. Okay. Floyd butchered OZ Kush, ruined it. It was perfect. It was perfect. You couldn't ask for more. And every subsequent generation was just worse and worse and worse. But that very first OZ Kush, the first time I had it was from 5 Leaf Wellness. That was really special. That was really special. Bubba Kush 5-9 and Bubba Kush 12 from Zoe are really great. There's some good older ones. A lot of this new stuff that Hag is coming out with is really, really nice though. Like, I can't even keep up. Yeah, it's really nice. That Bomb Cyclone, the name doesn't infer quality, but that's fire. The Angel Cake, that's basically some CBD wedding cake fire. Yeah, for some Lifter, I'm telling y'all, this don't smoke like Lifter at all. It tastes like kind of like an apple hard candy or something. Yon face, I'm gonna be on that Fern Valley Rainbow Sherbet here in a minute. I have another Fern Valley review coming out of their CBD flower. Because they just like Lost Oak, they did so many strains, I couldn't put them all in one video. So one of my next videos will be the rest of that Fern Valley outdoor harvest. D Burton. D Burton. Hey, that's a strain I forgot existed, but that is hot trash. Hot garbage. The wife. The Wife. That shit was popular back in 2019, 2020. Oh my god. That was that was ass. Hot garbage, The Wife. That was one of those just ultimately bad strains that I'm so glad don't exist no more. Mr. Nutt said, I tried Lifter for the first time the other day. I 100% get why you don't like it, but personally, I really liked it. Okay, so Mr. Nuts, a question, and I hope you're still on here to respond. What did you like about it? Since you say you 100% get why I wouldn't like it, and I'm guessing that's probably from the smell and flavor and everything. But what is it about it that you like it? I'm very curious to know. JC said, I love type 2.5. So are you asking me a question? I believe so. So I like type 2.5. So is OG gelato that type. I like a high, but not to a point where I start to get paranoid. So here's my greatest contribution to the hemp space, in my opinion. Besides my videos, the term type 2.5, I created it. Okay. And I didn't think that it was going to take off. I thought it was going to be one of those things where I and maybe a couple other people would start using it and everybody would be like, that's fucking stupid. There's no such thing as type 2.5. But it turns out that that categorization of potency resonated with a lot of people. And so while if you go to somebody in the marijuana space who's like a cannabis nerd and they describe chemotypes as type 1, 2, and 3, they're not going to know what type 2.5 is. But it's got to the point now where the average hemp person, the average person that might use type 3 or type 2, they know what type 2.5 is now and is widely used. I see it being used on Instagram, on Reddit. And a matter of fact, somebody sent me a screenshot that Gemini or Chat GPT or whatever recommended them type 2.5. So that's kind of something I'm really proud of because that's kind of like my viral moment. That's like one thing I introduced to the internet that has a lot of people are using it. So that's dope. But I had to tell somebody that. I've been thinking about that. But to answer your question though, OG Gelato has sometimes some phenos hit like a 2.5 and some are just a regular type 3, but if it's not stronger than that though. It's not gonna make you paranoid. So if you're looking for a 2.5, if you're looking for that type of experience, then I definitely recommend the OG Gelato. Absolutely. Oh, jelly cookies. Oh, jelly cookies is one of the greatest ever. Jelly cookies, yes. Forgot about that. Jelly cookies, one of the greatest T3s ever. It's got that that gelato type of a vibe to it. Um Hold on. I see some madness, but hold on. Mr. Nutt said, what do you feel about sour lifter? I mean, it can be a little bit better than regular lifter. It doesn't smell so cheesy, but it's still I wasn't I never became it was too it was just no, dude. To me, sour lifter is like the epitome of hemp. When people think about hemp in a negative context, that's like sour lifter, like terpenoline, hazy, hempy, green smelling, you know. Mr. Nutt said, if you were a breeder, what strains would you like to cross? Oh my God. That's something I've talked about so much, and just at this point in time, I've lost track. But I will say, any hemp strains that are popular that are not gassy need to be bred or crossed with something that is gassy. And if you're trying to go for something like a haze where you don't want it to be gassy, you want it to be hazy, then that needs to be further refined as well. But um I used to have, if you would have asked me this question like a year ago, I could have gone on a whole 30-minute tangent about this strain should be crossed with this strain, and I would call it this. And I used to have this whole mental breakdown of what strains I would cross and what names they should be given and what it would smell like and everything. And um I've forgotten. And you know who did a lot of that is Type 3. Me and Type 3, before he really started going, me and him talked a lot about it, and he ended up doing a lot of those crosses, like things like the Royal OG and crossing it to Bubba Kush and this and that. Like everything dank should be crossed to everything dank. Absolutely. I would love to see that angel cake. That angel cake, I would like to see that cross with like, ooh, I want to see that cross to like Bubba Kush 12 or something. But it's good as is. But like I said, I had a whole mental list before of what. Anthony said, now this is what I said was wild. Anthony said Lifter was the closest Type 3 I've ever bought in terms of color and smell to Type 1. Now that's got to be one of the most heinous things I have ever seen typed in my comment section on live. I don't know what Lifter. I get so distracted. I don't know what Lifter or what Type 1 you have been smoking. Either that has got to be the best unseen lifter in all time, or you smoking some straight dookie Type 1. But to compare lifter to Type 1 is nuts. That's bonkers. Like, here's some Hawaiian snow Type 1. And this shit is so fucking insane smelling. I mean, the gassiness is so dank. It smells like cologne and gas and cat litter and soda and more gas on top of that. And that smell is just so crazy and just wild. Lifter is not even in the same conversation as that. And this is what when you talk about Type 1, I just think about something that is just overwhelmingly strong gas or skunk and everything else that it comes with. And no. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I can't agree with that opinion. Ooh, my back. Wondrously Paris says, Sub Shabazz question. You ever think about doing a grow run of some Type 3? I got some fire T3 strains that look very promising. Yeah, like I said, this last year I did like 4 or 5 plants, just little experimental things. I was trying to mess with where I moved to. I was trying to see how much light I really don't get enough light to create a healthy plant. And then like the flower went on so long that before the buds were finished, other parts started getting like bud rot, just and like dying off just because they were on this. And there's just I don't get enough light. Um, I might try, I might try experimenting with something else, maybe like some different LST techniques, perhaps this summer. Um, I'm not sure. I can't. I couldn't say for sure right now. Oh, there's another strain I forgot existed. Cherry blossom. Y'all, it's safe to say if you're talking about strains from back in like 2019, 2020, almost all those strains I think are trash. You know, except for we got Bubba Zoe dropped Bubba Kush for the first time back then. Um, uh, I, I'm a fan of a good sour space candy. Okay, but for the most part, everything from back then is trash. It tasted like ashtray. It tasted like ashtray. And I know that y'all watching. I know you agree with me. I know it. And please chat. Like if you're not commenting, you're just watching. Go at least comment this. Okay. Until recently, the average hemp strain, indoor, outdoor, whatever, tasted like shit when you smoked it. Okay. It tasted like ashtray, had little to no flavor. And back then in 2019, 2020, there were some pretty strains. They look good, sticky, frosty, whatever, but I guarantee you roll them up and they tasted like shit. And that was just kind of like we were in a position where it's like I'll take what I can get. So I wasn't complaining about it. You know what I mean? It's just it was at back then we were just so excited to have these different strains of low THC cannabis that we could smoke. So if that shit tasted like ashtray and the bottom of a couch cushion, oh well, you know, we weren't mad about it. What's up, Jinx? Long time no see. I would potentially be interested in some auto flowers. It depends on like it depends on their lineage and stuff like that. I'm particular about where they come from parent wise, but yeah, that's a possibility. So Mr. Nuts said, oh, who said that they really like Lifter? Was that? Oh, yes. Okay, so you're answering my question. So remember, y'all, I asked this dude like 20 minutes ago why he said he really liked Lifter, and he just said it was just a very different flavor profile. It reminded me of one of the CBDV strains from Lost Oaks. I think it was Vitality. It's just a very unique profile that I liked, like Hayes Genetics, love or hate. So the reason why you're comparing it to the CBDV genetics is because it is a sibling of those genetics. Um, the CBDV from Oregon CBD, as well as shit like Special Sauce and other strains like that, are siblings of Lifter. They all share one, the ERB, or the Suver Haze 50. They all share those parents. That's what they all have in common is ERB or SH50, the Suver Haze 50, I believe. Um, and that's where that's why they smell like that. And that's why the CBDV strains from Lost Oak, the Vitality, the Forbidden V, I can't stand how they smell. They smell like shit. They smell like cheese and mildew with a little bit of citrus and some firewood. And some of them can even have this like cat pissy smell. But where is the cologne? Where is the gas? Where's the skunk? Where's the tropical fruit? Where's the dessert? You got to have at least one of those things, in my opinion, to qualify. I wouldn't even compare it to a haze because yeah, hazes are not gassy strains, but people like hazes for what they are. You could still have a haze that has a good flavor, and that's why, like I said, there's some sour space candies that could be good, because you could have a decently tasting sour space candy that was like this, like a modern haze. But anything from Oregon, I mean, some of their what was it, like the cake berry brulee and the sour brulee. The sour brulee was like a dessert haze. That was pretty good. Okay. And same thing for the cake berry. Those were smokable. Those were decent. But most of the older stuff, the Hawaiian haze, the lifter, special sauce. I know I'm missing some of them, but the CBDV strains, and that's just my opinion. I'm not telling you that you can't like what you like. I'm just saying, in my like the smells that those have, just no, they don't. You gotta have one it factor at least. Like I could grab what's this? Oh, this is a type 2. This is a banana taffy. I can't even smoke that. That's way too strong. I gave Miss Shabazz a joint of this, and we went to all you can eat sushi. She was like a grilled cheese sandwich. Like she was fried off the banana taffy. So what's this? Peyton strawberries. Okay, let's see. Oh, it smells like hemp, but you know what? It has this like really distinct fruit candy smell, and a tiny bit of like some musky gas in there. Okay. Strawberry fritter. Same thing. Same thing. Same. The strawberry fritter is actually that's actually smells better. Angel cake. Angel cake. This smells like it smells like weed. It smells like some gas. It smells like some skunk, and then it smells like cake. God, that's really good. That's hot fire. I'm smoking the angel cake. I'm smoking it down piece by piece by piece, small like little mini joints at a time. One of my this is incredible. But anyways, I could pull out, what do I got? Okay, I don't really feel like getting up, but oh, here some honeydew. Some honeydew. This is this is refreshing. This is refreshing. It's sweet, it's not gassy, it's not skunky, but it has this refreshing scent of like a Minute Maid juice, like a tropical punch. It's a bright, fruity, mixed fruit smell. Anyways, my point being, the Oregon CBD strains just they smell dark and moist and moldy, mildewy, cheesy. It just my bad, y'all. This is what happens. I smoke some lifter, I drink a sour, and I'm ranting about ranting about bullshit. Collins fan said, "What's some good tasting hemp rolled? I've tried rock candy so far, and it's kind of hempy and not super much else for me. Try a Bubba Kush. I mean, for starters, you can't go wrong. Like if you try that rock candy, I don't know. Like let's say you try that from Lost Oak. From Lost Oak, get the Bubba Kush 12 and the 5.9. And what else do we have from Lost Oak? That was fire. What else was from Lost Oak that was fire? Lost Oak has so many strains this year. And let me think. Let me think. What was oh, the goat butter? The goat butter is not even for sale anymore. That one had a good taste. But as far as what's available, let me see. Lost Oak. Let me just get reminded of the lineup. Oh, the blue nitro. The blue nitro is gonna get you right. You're talking about you want something was gonna taste good rolled up. Get some of that blue nitro. Get some of that. Get some of that purple snowman. People are sleeping on the purple snowman. I don't understand that purple snowman is for a strain that isn't gassy. It is very impressive to me. It is very impressive for a hemp strain that has no like, and it has some gas. So me saying it's a strain that isn't gassy, a purple snowman does have a little bit of gas to it. That's part of what makes it fire, but it's just like get you some get you purple if you haven't tried, if you're looking for you want to try something new from Lost Oak Farms, the purple snowman. The purple snowman is a sleeper. It's one of my absolute favorites from their most recent harvest. I love it. Love the purple snowman. The Fire OG was good. I can't remember how it tasted in the joint though. I haven't smoked it in a while, but the Bubba Kush 12, the 5.9, the Larry OG is not a bad indica. That's Larry OG is like a sweet, earthy flavor. Same thing with the Royal. If you like Royal OG, you will like Larry OG. Okay, from Lost Oak. If you're a fan of that Royal OG, the Larry OG is right in that same bracket. All right. Yeah, I forgot I had this banana taffy. I didn't even know I had a I didn't even know I had a nug of it. I literally had a nug. That smells really good. I don't know how economical that would be to ship that, it's like I don't even know. I mean, that is a decent sized nug, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I like maybe like 2 grams or something. Afghan maple was cool. It wasn't bad. It was cool. Afghan maple is like a old school indica. It reminds me of kind of like not like Northern Lights, but if you can imagine that family. Wondrously Paris. So I remember when OZ Kush was a new Debo on the block. Well, like I said, I don't know if you were here earlier, but OZ Kush was one of the best things that ever touched the hemp space. And Floyd, the guy at Hoku, I don't know, I don't know what he did, and I don't know why, but every generation that he would sell seeds, every generation after that very first one, it got worse and worse, and it's just a very average strain at this point. Like nobody's excited for some OZ Kush anymore. It's super average. When it first came out, it smelled like a straight T1 Bubba Kush, bright and sweet and skunky and gassy and just God, that was fire. Jungle. Oh, JT's Jungle said, "Thanks for dropping our review today, bro." Yep, just smoked some of your flower too. Just took down a J of the big Apple Jacks. No headache. No headache. That's what I'm saying. If y'all like Lifter, Mr. Nuts said that blue nitro is insane. First batch of that from a couple years ago was spicy. I'd guess 1 to 2% of some 1%. I guess 1 to 2% some nugs. It was so nice. Yeah, blue nitro. That's a great strain. Fun fact, I was the first person outside of Zoe Therapeutics who ever saw the blue nitro. Um, he sent me some of it to sample the very first run of it that he grew. And I was hooked. That that very first video I did when I went to go meet Burner. Actually, no, not the was it? Yeah, that wasn't the first time I met Burner, but that was the first time I made a video about meeting Burner. Um, that flower that I showed him was that blue nitro, that very first batch of blue nitro. I never got any hot nugs out of it, so that's interesting that you say that was spicy. It was for me just a super great indica T3, and I smoked it, and it left my car smelling like skunk, and just really nice. I haven't had some good indoor blue nitro from Lost Oak is great. That's definitely one of Lost Oak's best strains. I'm just thinking like I haven't had some good indoor blue nitro like that I'm talking about. I haven't had any in a long time. I wish I could have gotten some of the goat butter to try. I was just getting into CBD stuff as he sold out. You know what? He only did a little bit of the goat butter. Unfortunately, like I saw the goat butter before it was harvested, before it was chopped down, and it was literally just one row. And that row is maybe a row of plants. And I'm talking about a row that's maybe 50 or 60 feet long. So, hello, focus. So, not a lot of plants, you know, and those plants are spaced out like a foot from each other. No, not even. This is 1 foot. Like, this is 1 foot. Those plants are spaced out like a foot and a half from each other. So, you got to think about in like a 60-foot stretch, you have less than 30 plants. So, there just wasn't a lot of goat butter that was grown. But I do recommend getting the blue nitro if you haven't tried it. The blue nitro is even better than the goat butter, and that's still available. Hey, obligatory. Okay, I'm on here bumping my gums about all this flour. Make sure y'all use my coupon code. Okay, if you go to Lost Oak, use my coupon code. You go to wherever the fuck, Neverwinter. Use my code, save money, or if there's any there actually might be some 420 sales coming up too. There might be some 420 sales going live already, but if not, go on my landing page and use my coupon code for a guaranteed discount. And y'all, when y'all use my coupon code, it makes my opinion more valid to the growers and the breeders. Well, the growers really especially, but like the growers, they're like, I'll hit them up and I'll be like, yo, I tried your flower. I'm gonna do a review on it. Can I get a custom coupon code for my viewers? They're like, okay, cool. Here's code Shabazz for 10% off. Here we go 2 or 3 months later. They're like, a lot of people placed an order using your code. And starting once they see that, then the next thing they come to me is, hey, what strains do you think I should grow next year? And then that's how the relationship gets developed. And then it's like, they take me more serious when they see that people really go off my recommendations. And that's just, maybe it's egotistical, but that just makes me feel good. Okay. Where was I? Mr. Bell said orange fritter, goat butter, and fire OG. I don't remember how that orange fritter smoked. It's super purple. Super. My God, y'all. You got me wanting to take shit out. You see all these boxes and bins? That's all hemp and cannabis accessories. So, like this box right here, I think this is all a whole box of Lost Oak, Horn Creek. This box, I believe, let me see. Oh no, this is accessories. Um, but I have a box like this that's just full of Lost Oak flour. I think is that one up there, right there. Um, I got a whole box of Believer flour. Um, so I if it's not a strain I've smoked recently and a newer strain, I forget how it smokes just because I go through so much. You know what I mean? I could tell you how like the last five strains I have had were and beyond that. But anyways, the orange fritter is super dark purple, super purple. Uh Colin said, I gotta have low percentage, a half G King Palm of the rock candy, and I'm good. Yeah, you know what's that rock candy and that Larry OG ended up being really unique flower. You know, because it was grown off of clones, it was very um different. There's a word I'm missing, but it was very differentiated from the rest of the flower that was grown from seed. Like it was way more frosty, way more dense. It looked a lot more like indoor than it did outdoor. um I don't know about vapes. I don't know if Primary Jane ships internationally. I'm not sure about vapes, but flower Believer ships internationally. Jinx said, any update on what's happening with the hemp ban? We definitely went over that already at the beginning of the live, but basically is not looking good. There's no sorts of delays or appeals or changes or anything that are going through. Everything that has been tried to be pushed through has died or is not moving. So as of right now, it looks like the hemp ban is happening in November. When the live is over, go back to the beginning, like the first 20 minutes, and I talk about that in depth. Mm. Colin said, if I get panicked, should I lean more towards indica? I would say yes. Generally, the indica strains are much more consistent with their effects than the hybrid strains, which could be, you know, you could hit one nug and it feel a little bit more indica, and then you could hit another nug and it be a little bit more of a head rush. As where you go into the realm of like the Bubba Kush and the Royal OGs and stuff, and like you kind of know what you're getting into every single time. Wondrously said, still love Believer as well. Miss early Clutch City though. Yeah, Believer, you know, if you watch the best of video, the Shabazz best of 2025, Believer got that best indoor of 2025. Believer's doing it big. No signs of slowing down right now. And also Believer is one of the people that have actually traveled to Washington, DC to lobby um the politicians up there in person to try to change what's going on to try to reverse the ban. So major shout out to Believer. All right. Whether you like his flower or him as a person or not, Believer is actually he's 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 doing a lot to try and get this hemp ban reversed. So you got to respect that, no matter who you are or what. Cichlid Life said, one of the realest right here. Got to see and hear from you, bro. Uh, I'm not sure. I don't recognize your name, Cichlid Life, but shout out to you. I'm a fish keeper myself, if that's what that's referring to. Um, Appreciate that. Colin said, I try to use your codes anywhere I can. I was so stoked to find your channel and learn about type 3. Hey, That's what it's all about at the end of the day. My everything I've done, I hope that I have helped many, many people find low THC cannabis that benefits them. I know that finding low THC cannabis was a major life change for me. So I hope that my videos help change some lives in that way. I'm not saying me, but I just hope the information that I put out, I really hope I helped a lot of people, honestly. Because I spent a lot of time doing this and I put all my passion into every video. Everything, every opinion, shit I said that people didn't like, shit I said that people love, just everything I did it with passion. I never did anything half-assed because the day I tried hemp flower for the first time, it was a part of me. It was a part of who I am. I had an ounce and got 2 nugs that were warm, but not definitely hot, but definitely warm. Mr. Nuts, I'm not sure what strain you're talking about. John T says, "Save some money, don't be a dummy." Hey, that's how you know somebody's watching the videos, because that's been my little slogan for like just the last couple months. Just the last couple months. When I talk about make sure you use my coupon codes, save some money, don't be a dummy. And the reason I say that, and the reason I say that is because there's a lot of people that will watch 5 minutes of my video. See, it don't matter what strain it is. I'll hold a bud up to the camera. That shit looks good to them. They've never tried it before, and they just go order. And they don't stop and go look for my coupon code or my link or anything like that. They're just so anxious to order. So that's why I started saying, "Oh, save some money, don't be a dummy." Because like, hold on, take an extra 30 seconds and go find my coupon and get a discount on your order. You go place a $90 order and there's a 15% discount. That's like $13.50 you just got off your order just for nothing, for taking 30 seconds out of your day. So that's why I anyway. Lost Oak said it got more serious for me when we first held hands. That's crazy. Um, yeah, Purple Snowman is fire. Definitely recommend the Purple Snowman. Um, herbal arrange. Oh man, nobody's talking about herbal arrangements in a long time. Herbal arrangements like slowly disappeared off the out of the game, and so it wasn't like they didn't make no big announcement that they were done or anything. They kind of slowly and quietly dipped out. Herbal arrangements did have some good flower. Herbal arrangements was there's been a few people that have sourced flower, in the last 7 or 8 years. Damn, it's been that long. We're already in 2026. Hemp. I've been doing this hemp thing since late 2018. So it's already been that long. That almost brings a tear to my eye. But um shit, what was I saying? Hold on, what comment was oh, herbal arrangements. Yeah, there's been quite a few people over the years that would just buy flower from growers and then resell it. But herbal arrangements definitely did that best. I don't think anybody did that better than herbal arrangements. Herbal arrangements, he found some good flower that nobody else had. So yeah, I wish herbal arrangements was still around, but I mean, you know what? And they're not. So I could say this: all of the people that were only doing wholesale back then, which is where a company that's where herbal arrangements would get his flower from. He would buy it just wholesale from a grower direct, and that grower would never sell their flower themselves. All those people that used to sell flower wholesale like that, they all sell retail now. So I don't think that herbal arrangements, if they existed today, they would. I don't think that they would have anything that you couldn't buy direct from the grower. So, but they herbal arrangements was fire though. Herbal arrangements was fire. I would like to know where they got some of the flower they had. There's a lot of companies that don't exist anymore. A lot of companies. I mean, what was there was one called Apicary, Apiary, something like that. Starseed Botanicals. I'm forgetting so many though, but there was a lot of companies like that just don't exist anymore. Um, and yeah, that's crazy about Clutch City. Clutch City could have. Like, I still don't know the full story with Clutch City, y'all. I don't. I can speculate and tell you what my theory is. About Clutch City. I think that they had they had a batch of flour of the side piece number 2, which was the Bubba Kush Pheno. They had a batch of that was molded. And I think that they did like a big recall on that batch. And I think that this is just a theory. This is just a theory, but I think they couldn't pay the bills that month. And so rather than try to, rather than go into debt further and have to wait until the next harvest to try to make some money back or try to source flour from somewhere else, I have a feeling they just says, now we're going to cut our losses now. That's my theory. And it's like it's an educated theory. I'm not just pulling that out of my ass because of like it possibly could happen. It's a series of events that happen that I think that's probably what happened, but I don't know. The owner didn't tell me that or anything like that. But had Clutch City changed up, if they stopped growing with Athena is the nutrients they use, and that's what really made their flowers sometimes kind of harsh or not have that much flavor, despite looking and smelling really good. Had they switched up from Athena and went more of an organic or living soil route, they would be still one of the biggest companies out here today. I think they would have been bigger than um like Holy City Farms and stuff. But you want to know what else I think? I think without a doubt, Holy City would have sold THCA flower. They and I'm not scared to say they probably would have stopped selling CBD and just started selling THCA at some point in the last 2 years. So I'm kind of glad that they got out before that became an issue and tarnished their reputation, and we could just remember them fondly for what they were. So, uh, Collins fan said, I'll have to find me a tasty indica for rolling. Haven't gotten deep enough into CBD yet to get a dry herb vape yet. um, yeah, try some of that Kush from Lost Oak Farms. Sariba said, what states do you think will be able to get CBD flower after the ban? Like I said, I think that there will be some indoor growers that will continue putting out flower at a limited scale, and they may or I mean, I assume they would ship to anybody. Probably have to pay them on like Cash App and Venmo and shit, but um, yeah. Uh, and I do think that there will be some individual states that will allow people to keep growing T3. The problem is those people are probably not going to be selling it online. So, um I saw a comment on Reddit a bit back. Someone was saying that typically indoor stuff can naturally have lower percentage but more flavor. Um there's just it's so that's such a convoluted answer because the way that T3 indoor behaves versus T1 is different. I wouldn't worry about the percentages. I don't think that there's enough like e- and a higher CBD percentage does not mean higher effects either. Okay, just for everybody here watching that, if you don't know that, if you have a strain that has you have two strains, both have the same amount of total THC, but one has 15% CBD and the other one has 20% CBD. They both have 0.6% total THC. The strain with 15% CBD will most likely feel more potent to you. All right. So I wouldn't worry about the percentage, but indoor flower it can a lot of times have more flavor and more smell just because indoor flower doesn't have to battle the elements, and so it can put all of its energy into producing volatile compounds and terpenes and stuff and resin as well, which is very rich in those terpenes and VSCs and stuff. That's why indoor just looks prettier and everything. The plant was in its ideal environment and it wasn't worrying about the wind, rain, snow, thunderstorms, bugs, deers, squirrels, dust, anything like that. I'm in a flow state right now, just rambling. That's why. Beliefer took down their type 1. I don't think they ever had type 1. I think they did have type 2, but yeah, they took it down. This I'm not surprised. Yeah, my first US order. Where are you from, Mr. Nuts? What part of the UK? Backwoods is still going. It's funny. Backwoods had some good flour, but you know who has some good flour? Another one like herbal arrangements that a lot of people forgot is was two strains. Do y'all remember two strains? They had like their logo was like um Egyptian hieroglyphs, and it was two strains. Oh shit. Two strains, their CBD flower was really good. Um Backwoods had some decent CBD flower back in the day, but yeah, they now just sell THCA. And they're out of what, Tennessee, I think. Herbal arrangements, herbal arrangements, that's why I said they slowly died off. But yeah, they switched to wholesale only and then they kind of just disappeared. Um JC said, "Where can I get the best Peyton strawberries? I heard that Flow Gardens and Neverwinter Botanicals have the best. I don't know which one to choose from. I haven't tried Flow Gardens. Um, I've tried Neverwinter, but I would just say go with the Neverwinter. Neverwinter deserves the business more, in my opinion. Goat Ridge, man, that's another one. That's another one. Goat Ridge had some. Goat Ridge had go. If Goat Ridge, my God, for what they had it the best. And the reason I say that is because Goat Ridge never grew any sort of modern strains. The last harvest, they were still growing like sour lifter and super sour space candy and shit. But like I could think about Goat Ridge and say the best outdoor sour space candy I ever had, without a doubt, was from Goat Ridge. And that's not even close. So yeah. RIP to Goat Ridge. I would love to have seen them doing some of these new high alpine genetics today, and JT's Jungle said, I will say respectfully, I feel like a lot of the customers just focus on wanting the next new, most popular genetic that's going around. They also don't want to switch their suppliers up and try new companies, he said. Um, you know what? Hemp people are a lot more slow moving than weed people. I'll tell you that much. Because hemp people will buy the same strain for years and years. And most weed people, at least my age, they go to the dispensary and get a different strain every time, almost. Or they just don't care. They'll just buy some shit that's repackaged, and they just call that shit, oh, this is some candy stamp or some bullshit that comes in a box with a fucking action figure in it, you know, and you don't know what strain that is. It's probably just some lemon cherry gelato, but that shit's called like Goku's Revenge or some bullshit. The side piece number two gone forever. Side piece number two was just a phenotype of Bubba Kush. And Bubba Kush is still here and strong. And so if other people just go through and pheno hunt different Bubba Kushes, they could easily find side piece or something very similar to it. So the genetics still exists. It's not gone. Just that cut that was isolated is probably gone. What's up, Justin? Oh, you're tripping, bro. Hold on. Um, Wonderfully Paris said, RIP Cascadia. Is Cascadia Blooms out of business now? Because I know last year, I believe they were still in business, still selling Delta 8 flower. Oh no, you know what? That's right. Cascadia Blooms did go out of business. Yep. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And that was just, yeah, so they did put out flower. That's why I'm thinking, yeah. So Cascadia did put out flower as recent as last year. It was well, obviously last year, but it was at the end, I think, of last year, or middle of last year, that they like dissolved or went out of business or whatever. So that's actually a recent one. And Cascadia Blooms was around, they were one of the first. They were one of the original companies from back in like 2019, 2018. TJ said, outside of the video that you did 9 months ago for Neverwinter Botanicals, I just posted a video on Neverwinter Botanicals probably just a few weeks ago. Let me see. Oh, not a few weeks ago, 2 months ago, but um last time Neverwinter, yeah, I got several of their indoor strains, and that was in like February. I posted a video on them, so you got to go back and watch that video. You missed it, I guess. Oh, Mr. Nutt said he's in Southend in Essex. Okay, shout out to you, man. Definitely got to make a an England trip, a UK trip. Um, in the near future, man. As soon as my finances are right, that's travel is like main priority. Like as long like the house, the car, the kids, once all that is stable and good, I want to go to Europe, I want to go to Africa, and I want to go to Japan. So Do you remember the hemp sheet? Of course, I remember the hemp sheet. The hemp sheet was very controversial. I was never a supporter of the hemp sheet. Um, Brandon said, "Yo, was good smoking some horn, oh, Holy City, blueberry and strawberry gelati." That's what's up. Shout out to you, man. Holy City used to have like when they first switched to retail flower, and I was the very first person that ever reviewed their flower. And my videos, in my opinion, definitely put them on the map because they used to be wholesale only. They used to sell to people like WNC and Herbal Arrangements. They didn't sell direct to consumers. Once they started selling direct to consumers, is when I started messing with them. And I made a couple videos and that like really put them on the map. That really got people buying from them, and it never slowed down for them. But their flower, when they first came in like that, the strawberry cake, that strawberry cake they dropped with, that was fire. They dropped with some fire flower, and then a lot of the stuff I've tried since then just it wasn't the same. Like pretty and everything, but just didn't have the smell or flavor to match. Mr. Nut says so many young ones have never had to actually put effort in or try to get high. Somebody's putting me a bunch of hundreds. They like what I said. I guess. So many young ones have never had to actually put effort in or try to get high. They never had to do deals in parking lots or been shown some fire and then sold some dookie. They don't appreciate it. Yeah. But you know what? I'll be honest. Back in the day, when I used to smoke weed, when I was a teenager, I didn't care about quality. That wasn't even in my vocabulary because I had no money for that. And I've never been a type of person to live beyond my means. I've always been like the low end of the totem pole financially. And I always knew that since I was a kid. Like being raised for the most part by a single mom and everything, we just always had to budget. And my mom only bought us what she ever could. And she never like my mom, there was not a lot of money. And my mom thankfully was not stupid with the money. Like the money that there was, like we didn't eat a bunch of fast food or go out to the movies or stuff a lot like some people did, but obviously I know now why. There just wasn't the money for it. You know, when we wanted new shoes or new clothes or whatever, we had to wait for our birthdays or Christmas to get it. My mom, like there was never money just throughout the year to be buying. Anyways, point being, I'm a very frugal person and I don't live beyond my means. And so yeah, when I was younger, I wasn't even concerned with finding high quality flour. Like when I was a teenager, that Mexican brick was great. It was more than great. All right. I didn't desire anything past that. All right. That stress. If y'all are in California, we had stress. We had AZ, which is like top shelf stress. uh, um I didn't need nothing else. And then when I became an adult, I got my medical card here in California, and I just went to the dispensary and would have 30 different strains in a glass case I could choose from, and different price ranges. And I would always go to the budget, maybe the middle sometimes, but usually go to the budget and still have 10 different strains I could choose from. So being here in California, I didn't really have to I never bought weed from a dealer. I mean, sure, I bought weed from a dealer, but it was not it was like when I was buying weed off the street, it was in the hood where you knew who had the bud and they trapped out of their house. You didn't like we didn't text message hey, I need 7 grams. What time can you come through? And no, it was like you pulled up to the trap spot and you got your little nickel baggies or your fat little dime baggie in the sandwich bag corner twisted off. Or y'all remember the nickel bags, y'all remember the little Ziploc bags about this big. Let me see. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They still sell Coke in those bags with them little Ziploc bags about a inch and a half by 1 inch, and they would stuff as much flour would go in there, stems, seeds, all right, dark green, and I was fine with that. Shit, shit, $20 get you like four of them dime bags or four of them nickel bags would be like, I don't even know. You get like 10 or 11 grams sometimes for $20. Like me being like 17 years old, shit, I make that last a long time. And then it was a special treat when somebody had the big bags, like the dime bags or the dub bags of the stress. And that shit would be like a baseball, like a baseball size baggie of bud. And you just look in there and it's different shades of dark green and olive color, and you see stems and little dried leaves and just a bunch of seeds everywhere. And you're just like, man, I'm about to go get high. I'm gonna grab me some Boone's Farm, okay. Uh uh Maybe a 40 ounce, depending on who I'm with, and we're gonna smoke all day off $10 or $20. Everybody, we're all gonna smoke. Anyways, point being, those were the good times, and I look back fondly on that. I remember one time my uncle gave me like 5 or 6 grams of some bud from the dispensary when I was like 17 years old. And at that time, that was the best weed I ever possessed. And I didn't even care to smoke it. I sold all of it. All I saw was like a money opportunity right there. I'm like, I don't need that. I'm fine with the stress. I'm fine. I'm gonna go sell this because I could sell this shit like $20 a gram back then. Maybe not 20 a gram, but RIP my uncle Guy, man. Uh man, that dude was a trap lord, dude. That dude was a money motivated. Brandon said I smoked bud in high school until I was 21, then it made me paranoid. Yeah, in my early 20s is when I started getting anxiety attacks. Like I still smoked, but if I got too high or a particular strain hit me too wrong, or like I hit a bong or something and just inhaled too much smoke at one time, get a panic attack. And like I think just you go through enough of that, and just the thought of smoking weed by itself would already start giving you anxiety. You get traumatized by it. Wondrously said, I used to smoke White Widow, Granddaddy Perp through apples from lunch in '06. I remember one time I was sitting on a chair in my garage, and my neighbor Martin, he was Filipino. He had an apple. He used to like smoking out of apples for some reason. And he brought over an apple, and I think it was some GDP. Was it some G or no, it was some I've always remembered what strain that was. I can't believe I'm forgetting it now. I always remember it. Oh my god. I'm gonna have to think hard, but it was like I think it was something purple or grapey or something, but I took like 1 or 2 hits off his apple, and I sat back down in that chair in the garage, and next thing I know, it was the next morning. I hit that, sat down in the chair, and knocked the fuck out. Knocked the fuck out after hitting that apple. Yeah, it might have been some granddaddy perp. I don't wanna say the wrong thing. Mr. Nuts said, "That's what I mean. We had a struggle to get it, so we respected it more. We made it last. We appreciated the brick weed. We were bears looking for honey, and now we got kids in the candy store." Uh, I can't disagree with that. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I feel like if I was a T1 smoker and somebody handed me a bag of some Strizzy Stress or Reggie, they called it in most parts of the country, some swag, I would still I might not smoke the whole bag, but I have to roll one up. I'd have to roll one up. There's the smell is so nostalgic, so many memories. And then next thing you know, I'm down getting some Newports and a beer, because you gotta have the whole experience, you know what I mean? But yeah, definitely appreciate that. It's just seeing, and what's crazy is like I don't appreciate low, like that's what you call low quality weed, is that Reggie, that stress. But low quality hemp, I feel like is just so much lower quality than that. Like you smoke some stress and that shit tasted like some stress. Like y'all know, like you smoke a fat ass blunt of some Reggie and it tastes like some Reggie. But you smoke some shitty hemp and it doesn't taste like anything. It tastes like smoke and ashes. So, you know, Justin said, just wanted to say, I appreciate you for putting us on game about hemp. I didn't know about it for a long time. I was getting zooted, paranoid high until you showed me there's other ways to actually enjoy. Again, that's what my channel is all about. That's what all the passion, all the time I put into everything. That's what it is all about. Is that story, that paragraph you just wrote right there. I went through the same thing. Okay. I went through the same thing, just having traumatic as nightmarish experiences with THC. And so finding high CBD, low THC cannabis, I made it like my life mission from that point to share that with as many people as I could. Like that's literally been my mission, my goal for the last 7 years. TJ said, I'd be smoking so much back in the day, though. It was crazy. I was smoking like it went out of style. I just remember when I was young, when I was like 17, and I would be able to smoke weed after school and just get so faded, but you would have just the best time of your life. Like I remember getting faded after school or going to a party, like going to a kickback and hitting the blunt in the rotation and just standing there, goofy as hell, just laughing. I just I remember being at home. I would smoke. I would go like my friends would leave. I would be so high, just gone out of my mind, and go into the kitchen and just rage shit. All right, just like a Viking. Okay, um, a Viking at an English monastery is how I would be in that kitchen after I was smoking. I remember going to a party one time, and yeah, like I said, I hit the blunt, and I just remember some girls standing there laughing at me, like looking at me like I'm stupid because I was just standing there, like leaned up against a doorway, just cracking up. Nobody's talking to me, nothing. I just could not stop laughing, just having the time of my life. And man, if weed still did that to me today, I would be the biggest pothead you would know. Okay. Bob Marley wouldn't be able to outsmoke me if weed still made me feel like that today. Cause it was just pure bliss. And it's like at one point in time, a switch went off and all of that positivity suddenly, like there was like a breach in the levee, and and the the ego death and the negativity and panic and paranoia started like infecting that, and could never like get out of it. You could never take that back. My weed experience got HIV or some shit. Like it got something that it can't not get. Damn. Versatile said Purple Snowman. Man, I talked big about Purple Snowman. Like, what? Where are we at right now? What's the live at? I can't even. Where's the little ticker? Oh my god, we're at 2 hours. Like an hour. Anyways, like an hour ago, I went in. The Purple Snowman's a great strain. It's one of my favorite strains from this year. And a lot of people are sleeping on it. Purple Snowman is hot fire. I highly recommend it. Use code Shabazz or Baz, Bazz. Get that Purple Snowman from Lost Oak. Um, Fern Valley has Purple Snowman too. Now that I think about it. Fern Valley's Keef is good if you want to smoke it or coat joints in it. It is not pure enough though to make hash unless you want to do a lot of work, which I've done before. Don't recommend it. You got to like static sift it to isolate all the heads because there's like it looks really blonde, but there's a lot more plant material in there than it appears. So it's a good quality keef if you're like I said, if you're trying to add it on top of a bowl or roll it into a blunt, roll it into a joint, or coat the outside of stuff. But if your idea is to make hash with it, it's not going to work out unless you want to make like some Lebanese hash and like press the fuck out of that shit into like some bricks, let it oxidize on the outside for a few weeks and just break off little pieces. But that's not, it's still not, I wouldn't recommend that. Brandon said it sucks there isn't much going on in the hemp flower subreddit. You know what the problem is with that subreddit, and you know what? A few people stepped in and like they've been putting in a lot of work and try to revitalize the subreddit and everything, and like took out the trolls and the spam and stopped letting people post THCA and like really cleaned it up. But the problem is, and it's something that like mods or anything can't control. There's too many stupid people on Reddit. There's too many dumbasses. It's like if any of y'all go on the subreddit and just scroll down the last couple weeks and just look at like the questions that people post and like look at the answers that people comment on other stuff and just look at the comments and look at the recommendations and look at some of the companies that are like really put on a pedestal on there. It doesn't reflect uh it doesn't reflect a connoisseur. Okay. I don't want to sound like cocky or anything like that. That's not my intent, but the subreddit is just like it's there. I mean, if somebody Googles, oh, what's some good CBD flower, they're gonna end up on that subreddit and they may or may not get something good. But that subreddit is not for like a serious enthusiast. It's just gonna piss you off. If you're a serious enthusiast, the shit that people say on there is frustrating. And so I think that it doesn't it's not like before it was an enthusiast place, and just now a lot of the people are not active anymore that were on that type of level, and now it's just kind of like really just casual people that are like really really lax in their standards, and that's a big thing on the subreddit. People have very low standards on there, and like every day you'll see people. Somebody will say, "What is the best CBD flower I can get?" And somebody will go on there and be like, "Tweedle Farms." That's the problem with the subreddit. I No, I haven't been messing with type 2. Death Eater Kush, I don't even know if I've tried. I don't even think I've tried that. Yeah, Brandon said, I feel like growing up and having more responsibilities makes you overthink. Yeah, if you're somebody who already is an overthinker or an introspective thinker, um, when you get older and you start having bills, you start having kids, you're not a kid, right? You have shit that you got to do and take care of. When you smoke weed, you dwell on that. You dwell on that. And that starts causing some negative reactions to the THC. Absolutely. Type 3 can you know what? I haven't talked to type 3 cannabis in quite a while. Um, but type 3 cannabis, one thing I do know is that he took a long hiatus. He took an extended trip to Asia. So he was actually in Asia for some months. And so obviously, he put growing and everything on hold for that. And since then, I think just same thing like with me, I think he came back and just dealing with life. I don't think that he's like good or anything like or like done. I don't think he's like I was gonna say like he's good on growing. I don't think he's done, but I don't know. Um he did a lot single-handedly. Type 3, he did a lot. He brought a lot of crosses and just dope strains. And I actually have one of his strains right here grown by somebody else. The Royalty OG. This is my last little piece of really, really, really great, really great, really great flower. Um, I don't think type 3 is gone for good though. I think we may see at least genetics come out of him in the future. Yeah, it's a cannabis is an amazing plant, man. THC steals the show, but all the cannabinoids are due their respect. Absolutely. Yep. People are just concerned. I mean, most people are just concerned with how high can I get, but there's just so much more to cannabis. There's different chemotypes. There's so many different compounds that create smell and taste. Um, I can't even I can't even go into that because once I start the whole terpene conversation, that's a whole other can of worms. But yeah, I wish people would understand cannabis a little bit more. Absolutely. Blue Nitro is fantabulous. Again, if you go back like probably like an hour in the video, I talked a good bit about Blue Nitro. If y'all want to watch something really good, just here's something random. I'm gonna get off soon, but if y'all want to watch something really good, really wholesome yet very entertaining and intriguing. Watch Love on the Spectrum on Netflix. It is an incredibly good show. It's about people with autism dating each other and learning how to date is like the big thing, and learning how to be social. It's such a good show. Um, just in case you sit down to eat tonight or something, you don't know what to watch. If you have not watched Love on the Spectrum, go to Netflix, start that up. Season 1, episode 1. There's 4 seasons, and a lot of the people from season 1, you get to see how their relationships work or don't work out, over time and everything. It's just such a good show. Very entertaining. Um, yeah. The new season of The Boys is on right now. I'm not watching that till all the episodes come out though. But if you haven't watched The Boys on Amazon Prime, go watch The Boys. It's such a fire show. Stupid. It is just stupid. It's just a super, imagine like Marvel, but if Marvel was only made for adults, you know. Yeah, man. Anyways, I'm starting a Blu-ray collection. And so far my collection has 2 films. No, I'm sorry. 5 films, but 2. I got the Matrix collection on Blu-ray, and then I got Training Day in 4K on Blu-ray, and that's it. But I got a whole Amazon wish list of Blu-ray movies. Some of them are in 4K, some are not. I would like to have all of them on 4K, but I can't afford that. The 4K ones be like $20. The regular Blu-rays are like $8. You know what I mean? Like $8 to $12. And the 4K is like 20 to 30. But some movies are mandatory, such as like Interstellar. Oh man, I cannot wait to get Interstellar on 4K Blu-ray. That's gonna be stupid dumb fire. Stupid dumb fire. Let's see on my list. I got Wolf of Wall Street, the Hangover trilogy on Blu-ray. That's just a funny trilogy I love. I love when they go to Thailand. Let's see, they got The Departed, Goodfellas, and Aviator, Scorsese collection. I'm not sure if I want that or not though, because I kind of want Goodfellas. I want Goodfellas on its own in 4K. That's one of my favorite movies. So, oh, the Taken trilogy, not in 4K. 4K would be nice, but I think I'm cool with that one just in regular HD. Oh man, here's one I gotta get, but I can't find it. It's super expensive. It's Kingdom of Heaven, the director's cut. That's one I gotta get. That's one of my favorite movies of all time. Castaway, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, ATL with Ti. Listen, they got a triple feature Friday, Menace to Society, and Set It Off. I might cop that. Oh, Boys in the Hood, 4K Blu-ray. Troy, director's cut. Love Troy. Flight. Um, I have 13 Hours of Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, which is that movie about the US embassy that gets attacked. Oh, the I don't know what I'm trying to say. The Austin Powers collection. Again, that's just stupid funniness from my childhood. Oh, Forrest Gump in 4K. one of my favorite movies, one of the best movies of all history. Gotta have that one in 4K. Sicario in Blu-ray, American Gangster Blu-ray, Scarface Blu-ray. Say hello to my little friend again. Goodfellas. I think I'm just gonna get Goodfellas by itself from 4K. Casino. Ooh, Band of Brothers on Blu-ray. Band of Brothers, one of my favorite things ever. Sinners in 4K. Y'all seen Sinners with Michael B. Jordan, the vampires? Oh my god, that is one of the that movie is so good. That is one of the best movies that come out in like the last 5 years. That is so good. They just don't make movies like that no more. And then of course, the Hobbit trilogy extended editions, the Lord of the Rings trilogy extended editions, the Last Samurai Blu-ray, Saving Private Ryan 4K Blu-ray, King Kong, the Peter Jackson version in 4K, the Star Wars prequel trilogy, gotta have it. The Shrek collection, all six Shrek or all four Shrek movies and the two shorts on Blu-ray. Interstellar, like I said before, Interstellar in 4K Blu-ray, gotta have that one. Fast and the Furious 10 movie collection, but I don't know. I really only care about the first like four, but then some of the other ones for the visuals, I would want to have 4K, but I think the collection's fine. For Mrs. Shabazz, this is her one entry, is the Twilight Saga 5 movie collection on Blu-ray. And then the Mummy collection on Blu-ray. And that's like what? That's 3 movies for only $12. The Twilight's 5 movies for 16. Anyways, so as I get extra funds here and there, I will be buying a Blu-ray or two. Just because you never know, man. These streaming services, you never know who's gonna go down. You never know who has the rights to what. You never know if the internet is gonna fucking turn off tomorrow. So gotta start having physical media, man. We gotta get back to that. If CDs make a comeback, I'm gonna start collecting CDs again too. Because y'all know how like records made a comeback and people are buying and collecting vinyl records. If CDs, and I notice at Target now they sell CDs again. Like Sabrina Carpenter and Taylor Swift and Melanie Martinez, all these bullshit artists. I don't know why people listen to them, but they're actually selling CDs. So if CDs become a thing again and they start reproducing some like the older classics on CD and shit, I'll be collecting CDs too. What are people? My bad. I'm over here ran Spaceballs. That's funny. Colin said one of my dad's best friends, his dad was one of the good fellas. That's dope. I'm sure your dad got some stories, man. Just being from that time period. Just the 60s, 70s, 80s in New York and New Jersey. If you knew anybody or connected at all to that life, man, I know you got hella stories. I've watched the first Dune movie. I still gotta watch the second one, but I love space. Yeah, y'all are talking about like the funny movies, Pineapple Express, How High, all those. Those are the type of movies like just those dumb movies, like the late 90s, early 2000s comedy specials like that. Yeah, if I come across them used or something, even I'll look on eBay for some of those, like some older Blu-rays and stuff. Yeah, Sinners is such a good movie. Yeah, if you're gonna go watch a movie with a projector outside and do the whole shebang, Sinners is a great movie, man. It's a great movie. Just like I said, they don't make movies like that anymore. It's like once or twice a year do we get a good movie now, versus like y'all, growing up in the early 2000s, like the fucking the 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 like the golden age of movies, like from like 2000 to 2008, like all the best movies came out. All just man. And now, like every once in a while, you get a good movie. And yes, yeah, Lord of the Rings extended editions only. Yep. I can't watch a theatrical version. Can't do it. There's just too much missing from the just there's just too much. Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy extended editions. I don't even consider the theatrical cuts the real movie anymore. It's like a trailer or something. Oh shit, what time is it? I like the first Twilight movie. I can't lie. The vibes in the first Twilight movie are just it's just vibing. Okay. The story kind of goes off the rails a little bit in the subsequent movies and everything, and the wolves and the other vampires and the vampire families. And but the first movie, though, the first Twilight movie is just the vibes and there's just the music and shit. And just I'm not a Twilight fan, but I do enjoy the first Twilight movie. I can watch that one. Over oh, you collect CDs? That's dope. Over 250. Man, I would love to have a big CD collection like that, and just no matter what, you always have your music going. That would be dope. Your grandmother was full-blooded Sicilian. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm sure you got hella stories. Yep, I did see a new scary movies coming out. Oh, you know what? Speaking of, you said the Boondock Saints, which is a good movie, but the Boondocks, I gotta add that. Do they have the Boondocks on Blu-ray? That's one of my favorite things of all time. I gotta look for that. I don't think they put that on Blu-ray. I think it's only on DVD, which it might be worth buying. Does the man, I don't even know. Can that shit play DVDs? I don't even know. But all right, y'all. I gotta end this live. I have to leave right now. I gotta go. I did not expect to be on here for this long. We've been here for 2.5 hours. That's wild. I hope that satiated everybody's live cravings since I haven't done a live in 4 months. Uh go watch the video I posted today. Go watch all my videos. You already know. Like my videos. It really makes a difference. All that. I hope y'all have a good Saturday night. Have fun, be safe, don't do anything that could permanently damage you or anybody else. Um, yeah, and thank you for watching. I'm out. I'm out. Follow me on Instagram if you don't follow me on Instagram. Join my Patreon if you want to support me. Love y'all.